Hello. In the world of Warhammer, you would be just as likely to see epic heroes and mighty armies as you would weird beasts, dark comedy, and fantastic horror. So what movies could possibly contain such multitudes? I'm Jordan, this is Jordan Sorcery, and today we're watching movies that may as well be set in Warhammer. There is a lot going on the channel this month. I am celebrating 6 months on YouTube, I am celebrating the launch of my Patreon, I am celebrating 40 years of Warhammer. If you want to support the channel and help me grow, go ahead and check out the link in my description to my Patreon, patreon.com/JordanSorcery, where you will get the chance to support me and vote on the topics for future videos. And if you're interested in the history of Warhammer in its 40th year, come back every week this month to see a new part of my series of deep dives on the making of those games. Of course, right now, we're here to talk about movies that are set in the Warhammer world, or feel that they might as well be. But this video is not a serious one. This is very much a silly, inexhaustive list of films that I kind of feel like have the spirit or the sentiment or the style of Warhammer. It's kind of the same idea as I did when I took a look at my 40k list of movies. So go ahead and watch that, go ahead and watch this, leave comments below if there is a film that you think feels like Warhammer that I haven't mentioned, and, you know, let's see what's in the list. Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2 strikes the perfect tone of comedy, horror, goof, and gore that fits Warhammer like a glove. Sure, it has a contemporary setting, but there are so many elements to this film that feel like they could be ripped out of, say, a simple Warhammer Fantasy roleplay scenario. It's just perfect. A group of innocent types stumble upon some forbidden knowledge, and the corrupting taint of chaos takes its brutal toll. Like the Warhammer world, Evil Dead is a place frequently absurd, horrifying, horrific, hopeful, and despairing. The damnable ancient tome in question, the Necronomicon, is clearly the work of an author in league with at least one ruinous power, whilst the cabin in the woods surely belongs to a citizen of the Empire that has strayed too far down the dangerous path in pursuit of forbidden knowledge. I'm pretty sure that Ash receives a Chaos mutation, a gift bestowed in the form of a homicidal hand. And of course, he is pursued all the while by the Restless Dead and the true disembodied powers of Chaos. All you have to do to stop them is join them or die. Or even if you die, they don't really stop actually. So I guess they just, yeah, chaos, isn't it? The French fantasy horror film Le Pacte le Loup, or The Brotherhood of the Wolf, is quite figuratively a Mordheim movie. The Mordheim supplement, Empire in Flames, presents an alternate setting for the classic old world skirmish game, the dark and twisted woods outside the control of the Empire, and that is exactly where the action of this movie takes place. An Imperial agent, a sort of witch hunter, and his trusty companion are dispatched to investigate the brutal murders and disappearances of the peasantry in the most rural lands of the Empire, a place where stories are circulating about a great beast hunting down innocent people. Whilst there, our protagonists encounter arrogant aristocrats, a desperate populace, chaos cults, dark magics, enchanted weaponry, and the mystery of the thing in the woods, the so-called Beast of Gévaudan. The design, acting, and action in the film are excellent, and Vincent Cassel is of course magnifique. In GW's Mordheim, the Thing in the Woods miniature, sculpted by Felix Panigawa, was released for a scenario that sees the beast wreak havoc in the darkened forest, surely taking influence from this very movie. The film really captures the spirit of just how terrible it would be to be poor, innocent, and oppressed in the darkest corners of the Warhammer world. Yeah, it was a bit of a downer, I guess. Love them or hate them or despise them, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies have been a long-running series of movies that are really great if you want to gaze for hour upon hour at creatures from the deep, dark waters of the Warhammer world, brought to cinematic life. Everything from zombies to skeletons, kraken to cursed chaotic sea mutants, and of course, there's old Squid Chin himself. Sure, I'm conflating a few of the movies here, but, you know, it's fine. Man of War has always been a firm favourite of mine, and I absolutely love the spectacular pirate action of the Dreadfleet novel by Phil Kelly, a book that truly feels as if Harryhausen had made a Pirates of the Caribbean film. And Warhammer rarely gets cooler than in the art of Dreadfleet's tabletop counterpart, drawn by John Blanche. The Pirates films rarely tell stories I'm interested in hearing, with characters I'm frequently interested in not seeing, but at least they've got all of those cool special effects. I mean, Davy Jones is amazing. You just have to fast forward through about 60% of the movie and then you can have a good time. And there's one thing that I will always agree with: drink up me hearties yo-ho. Terry Gilliam's 1975 solo directorial debut sees Michael Palin's accidental medieval hero Dennis set out on a quest to face the great and terrible beast that's been tormenting the kingdom. The film is a comedy sort of in the vein of the Monty Python films that Gilliam and some of the cast had previously worked on. But this is a one-off story that matches certain aspects of the dark, absurd, and regularly funny world of Warhammer. There are some very funny Empire-style flagellants who I just really enjoyed. There is a particularly aggressive one that is fantastic. The film also features my favourite royal announcer of all time. The Jabberwock creature itself is based on the Lewis Carroll nonsense poem responsible for the words Bandersnatch, Chortle, and of course Jabberwocky, but it didn't just inspire Gilliam. John Blanche quoted the poem in the front matter of his shared art book, Ratspike. The beast was included in early editions of the Warhammer bestiaries, and there was even a Citadel Jabberwocky mini as well, sculpted by Nick Bibby and first advertised in the Citadel Journal of spring 1985. This is a rare beast, and like the film Jabberwocky and the Warhammer world itself, it is a thing of monstrous and absurd beauty. Tim Burton's American Gothic fairy tale Sleepy Hollow definitely features a Chaos Knight, an undead necromancer, and it might as well be set in a Sylvanian border town. The Hessian mercenary horseman has almost certainly given himself over to chaos, probably around the time he sharpened his teeth, and the investigator Ichabod Crane surely graduated from the Imperial School of Engineers in Altdorf. There's a real sense that the pilgrims in the village of Sleepy Hollow have been schooled by the Order of the Templars of Sigmar. The scenario book Blood in the Badlands even mentions the well-known phrase to wear the helm of the Headless Horseman, also known as tempting fate. It is often said that when Morsleb waxes full, the Headless Horseman comes to reclaim his helmet. The Guy Ritchie action fantasy King Arthur Legend of the Sword was seen in cinemas by 11 people, and I was 2 of them, and I think that is a great shame. How about all kinds of magic weapons? And all different schools of magic? And what about Chaos War Mammoths? I mean, it's hard to look at this guy and not see a Chaos Warrior. The film updates the classic Arthurian legend with modern flavours, and the Warhammer feel runs through it all like an iron sword through a great big stone. The film is as big and bold and brash as the Diamond Geezer version of Arthur at its centre, and I love it for it. The score is genuinely amazing, and if nothing else, it features one hell of a horn. Okay, legally, I couldn't play the real horn. So there you go, a list of films that may or may not take place in the Warhammer world, but definitely feature hallmarks of it. The comedy, the horror, the darkness, the other stuff. It's all there. Plus, there's some monsters too. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like. Go over and check my Patreon out if you have the inclination and the means to support me. I really, really appreciate it if you do, but I also really appreciate if you view these videos, comment, subscribe, and like here on YouTube. If you've got some films that you think are based in the Warhammer world, please leave them below. I'd really love to see them. And until then, thank you very much for watching. I am Jordan, and this is Jordan Sorcery. Now, you cannot have failed to notice that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is the story of Leonardo da Maragliano's final steam-powered invention, stolen by alchemist of the Golden Order Karaticus Potts. The Child Catcher, a particularly abominable and obvious creation of Skaven clan Moulder, is out to kill Empire children, whilst Truly Scrumptious, a lady of Bretonnian nobility, is trying to recruit a knight for a great quest. Toot sweet!